Yo, what is going on, everybody? Carnage back here again, and today I'm doing a 2-for-1 review on both of the, Johnny Storm figures. Here we have Johnny Storm, and then we have Human Torch, both played by, I'm forgetting his first name, Joseph Quinn? Pretty sure it's Joseph Quinn. Uh, pretty phenomenal movie. These were the last two that I actually needed to complete the set. Uh, First, gonna look at the Johnny box. Very cool, very great picture of Joseph Quinn on the back. Pretty basic, and they're both gonna be using this logo because they're the exact same character, basically. And then going on to the Human Torch one, which phenomenal looking. I love the look of this Human Torch one. This one's so cool, very very cool, and I really do like the picture on the back as well. Like the other ones, very old timey looking, very very cool. But yeah, let's just get right into the figures. So the first one I'm going to be looking at in depth is the Joseph Quinn figure. Originally, like most people, I did think this was just kind of a retool of the Mr. Fantastic body. It is not. It is its own completely new thing. Maybe the legs might be the same, but I mean, and the hands maybe as well. But I mean, other than that, like everything else seems like it's part of, this figure specifically. Like, arms, turtleneck, everything else about it, just very, very cool. As usual with these figures, very great detailing, super, super clean. Really do like these. Uh, Not much else to say. Uh, the wrist is, or this watch, removable, and very decent articulation, which I'll be getting into in a sec. But going on to the head sculpt, the Joseph Quinn head looks amazing. Now, the hair does look a little weird, I will admit that, just because it looks like they kind of caked on the yellow quite a bit. But I mean, from a distance, you can't really tell. Looks very, very good. Uh, yeah, he didn't come with too many accessories. He came with two fisted hands, and he also did come with two of these little flame effects that you can put on, his hand, like so. Kind of make it, you know, look like he's, possessing fire and everything like that. Pretty basic stuff, for a human or a Johnny Storm figure. Almost said Human Torch, but he'll be in a second. Yeah. Going on to articulation for Johnny, he has double jointed elbows, always a phenomenal thing. He does have a slightly over right angle arm, which not bad. Little tight pushing down, so caution, may need to heat up. And I was a little worried that this was going to get like a little chipped or something. Looks like it did get a little indented from that, so be a little wary of that. Headwise, looks up fairly well, looks down even better. And for those of you who are a Stranger Things fan, just thinking of this now, you might be able to, pop the hair off and put on like a longer hairstyle, which would be very cool because then you have an Eddie Munson. Yeah, wrist hinge, everything fun about that. He does have an upper waist swivel. He does have a lower waist swivel at his hips. Kicks out, doesn't kick out super far, doesn't kick back much further. He does have an upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, which always good. Really, really surprising that they never put like a, thigh cut right there. Very surprising. And then ankle pivot, of course. And then going on to the Human Torch. Like, I love this Human Torch figure. This one, definitely out of the two, the one I'm the happiest to have. It's truthfully just kind of, the same as the Johnny body, just, on fire, basically. And something cool that I haven't really seen anyone... Oh, I didn't even know these came off. So, starting off, the, hand flames do come off, which, very surprising. Didn't expect that, if I'm honest. So if you have any, like, flat hands, you could probably do something with that. Yeah, but the thing that I have not seen anybody talk about, even Flame Dawn Human Torch has his own little watch, which I thought that was a very, very, very cool, thing that they didn't really have to do, but they decided to do it. and I am, super, super both surprised and grateful that, Hasbro decided to bless us like that. But yeah, and I should mention, uh, now that I know these come off, it is very surprising that it doesn't, slip on easier. So, bit, because the thumb's supposed to go through that hole right there, and, it's not really wanting to do that, and I'm probably just gonna wait till after the video to try to put that back on. But like I said, very, very cool. And he comes with two of these, open hands, which he doesn't come with in the box. You have to, or, he doesn't come wearing them. But these are definitely my favorite hands. These are more like for flying poses. And, now knowing that these come off, you could probably do some pretty cool, like, little fire things with those. He also did come with two of these flame fists, which are phenomenal. And then just going on to Johnny Storm base mode, or, Human Torch, I don't believe this fire part comes off just because it seems like it's pretty glued on. But I mean, just so cool. And kind of like in the comics, he does have little black lines kind of going up and down his face, trying to kind of highlight, the figure a little bit rather than just having it be one solid color, which phenomenal. And you can also kind of see his six-pack right here, which pretty interesting. Didn't expect to see a Flame Guy's six-pack. And I should mention, other than the one on the back, and the ones on his feet, like it seems like most of these are removable because the ones on the arms are removable, ones on the open hands are removable, and these leg parts are also removable, which I didn't expect them to be removable, just because of the fact that they're kind of attached to his legs. But I mean, articulation wise, just because his hair or fire is kind of touching this, it does kind of make it a little difficult for him to look up all the way. So this is basically holding him straight like that. So you kind of have to have him at an angle to at least see his face while he's flamed on. He looks down phenomenally though, just because it's the exact same as this body. So if you want to mix and match them too, you can. I know I saw someone on Instagram basically kind of take this top part, put it on this body, and then just kind of, switch these arms out for the lower half of the arms. And I thought that was just such a cool thing that they did. So if you want to try that, I do recommend it. If you're skilled enough to do it. He does have double jointed elbows. Again, a little stiff, but I mean, still pretty good. Upper arm movement. Arm goes out to exactly a right angle. And, something I found out with this, you can actually make him dab, which pretty stupid, but, it made me laugh when I saw it, or when I found out I could do it. He does have the upper arm, or upper ab movement, I mean, the lower torso movement, and his belt is actually movable, which I didn't expect. And it's the same with this Johnny, I just forgot to mention it. Kind of like Johnny, can't really kick out too far, can't really kick back too far either. Upper thigh movement, double jointed knees, which I really do like that this is see-through plastic, because you can kind of, see the inner workings of how a Marvel Legend works, which I think is phenomenal. And let me just say, this Johnny, like in a flying pose, definitely the best. And this is actually one of the only ones that you could probably use as both a comic figure and a movie figure, just because of, the fact that he's basically just translucent plastic. Yeah, he doesn't have upper thigh cut, like they don't do that anymore, and it kind of sucks. And, the feet move, and, the little flame effect doesn't cause any, hindrance or anything like that, which is also a pretty awesome thing. So let's get right into a few comparisons. So the first couple comparisons that I wanted to do were both from the retro wave of Human Torch figures, or Human Torch Fantastic Four figures, I mean. So here we have the flamed on Human Torch next to the regular non-flamed on, or next to the flamed on Human Torch. And then here we have Johnny Storm next to Johnny Storm, which I do have the flame effects on this one. And you can actually, if you want to have a little bit of fun with him, you can actually use these effects on him. They look a little awkward, but if you get it on right, it'll look pretty normal. And something I did want to try, just because I did kind of mostly buy this because I saw a friend of mine stop motion where he uses Johnny, and I thought it was pretty cool. Not, he didn't do this with it, but I thought this was, kind of cool too. So, if you have both these, the head does fit, and skin tone a little off, but I mean, matches, looks very well since you can't really see the neck. And I'm assuming since that one fits on that, yeah, this one fits pretty well on that, and head looks a little small, I will say, but I mean, not bad. And this one doesn't look too bad, but very, very cool. And you can also mix and match pieces from this and this, I assume, but I'm not going to really do that. I was just more curious about, the, regular versions of the characters. Now, let me grab the other figures from this wave and just kind of give my overall opinion over the wave. And one more comparison before I do compare them to the rest of the wave. Here he is next to the Thing, which, I mean, very, 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 very awesome, seeing this. And it's also such a good movie, too. If you haven't seen it yet, I do recommend seeing it if it's still in a theater near you. If it's not, then I do recommend, checking it out as soon as it's on streaming. But let me just say, like, even just these two next to each other look pretty good. They do match up very well, because he looks like such a rock, and he looks like he's actually fire. So, very, very cool. If you don't have a Human Torch in your collection, I do recommend this one. Johnny Stormwise, I mean, it's pretty basic. I mean, nothing to really, say about it. I have nothing negative to say about it, other than, kind of wish, he came with, at least a couple more flame effects, but that's just me personally. But still, regardless, very, very, very cool. Now I'll compare them next to the rest of the wave. Now, I couldn't really fit all of them on at once, which does kind of suck. But I will kind of do something at the end where I show all of them together. But, I mean, so far, this wave of figures, definitely pretty good. And I believe it's like one of the first MCU waves we've gotten in a while. I can't really think of any that have come out as of lately other than these and Thunderbolts. And the Thunderbolts are currently shipping out. Just got one of them in today. But I may wait until the other one comes in. That'll be later. I probably will completely ignore that and review it as soon as I'm done with this. But yeah, very, very badass. Really love this wave so far. Johnny next to the Thing looks good. Johnny next to his girlfriend looks even better. And again, they did so good on this figure, like with all the yellow highlights and everything. So cool. And here he is next to Reed. And here he is next to Sue, which really do like this. Like, I probably will be mostly just having them kind of like this in their main outfits, and then, kind of have Human Torch kind of above him in like a flying type pose. Pretty cool. And let me just try to, kind of get them together as one big, family for a second. And here they all are as a family. I do notice now that, Reed's head is covering Ben's face a little bit, but I mean, regardless, such a good wave. Looks so good too. And then, let me just move these guys out of the way, and then just kind of show you these two, just because, they do kind of spend quite a bit of time with each other in the movie. These two look phenomenal next to each other as well. Really, really sick wave of figures. I do recommend, if you guys don't have the Fantastic Four in any way, shape, or form, I do recommend this. I mean, we are getting a new Silver Surfer legitimately up for pre-order tomorrow, September 10th. So, I mean, if you want to get the male Silver Surfer and don't want to get this one, go right ahead. But, I mean, still very, very cool. Really, really happy with this set of figures. Really happy I got to complete the wave finally, after not being able to find any of them for a long time and then never finding Johnny after getting the others. Now, the more difficult part is finding, doubles of all of them. Because I do kind of want one still mint in the box, just because that's, something I want to see. But yeah, enough rambling. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment down below saying, what figure you really enjoyed from this wave, if you've gotten any of them, or, tell me which one you want to try to get. Just because all of them are pretty good. I can't really say one is better than the other. They're all pretty fantastic in their own way. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.